PvP in ESO is about to blow up, as Midyear Mayhem is coming soon. To dominate, a solid build will get you a long way, and I've got you covered. In this video, I'll show you powerful, cheap, and beginner-friendly builds for every class. You'll learn the best gear, skills, and combos to use, plus some tips on the race, food, and more. Use timestamps down below to jump to your favorite class. Now sit back, take notes, and let's dive in. Hello everyone, Sayphex here. Starting off with DragonKnight. This class has stood the test of time with its sturdiness and high dot pressure. For some basics, for the race, Dark Elf, Orc, Nord, and Imperial are my go-to, as they're giving us best stats for the class. Stone, my favorite, is Atronach. Combine it with food buff, it will cover our sustain. So for the food, I usually use long thin pasty with melon sauce, or a simple tri-stat crown food will do just fine. When it comes to tributes, I use 33 points in health and 32 points in mag, pushing us to 30k HP or more. Vampire is recommended, but not necessary. If you do, use stage 3. When it comes to potions, I love tri-stat potions. But to be fair, they can be very expensive, so use simple Alliance War health potions. When it comes to the gear, I use simple Bloodspawn as our monster's head of choice. Our body is full Ancient Dragon Guard set, giving us damage or armor when you need it the most. This set is craftable, so you'll need only 6 traits to craft it. The best way to access it without owning a DLC or having ESO Plus is by joining a guild with equipped guild hole. For our front bar set is a staple, Plague Break, giving us high dot and a nasty burst. This one can be bought from guild traders with gold or with AP in Cyrodiil. Our weapons are dual wield maces with sharpened and charged trait with as main stats. On the back bar we have Potente's Resto Staff with defending trait. The whole setup uses 1 heavy, 1 light and 5 medium, and you also already saw all the traits and enchantments I recommend. When it comes to champion points, use those that I use on the screen above. When it comes to our skills, they are as simple as possible. First, let's take a look at our back bar. Here we have mostly defensive skills and buffs. For example, we use Ingenious Weapons and Volatile Armor, covering us with essential major buffs. Elude is our major expedition and major evasion. Regenerating is our main hot, and Coagulated Blood and Life Giver are our burst heals for moments in need. The front bar is spicy one. We have Noxious Breath, Flames of Oblivion, and Burning Embers for high dot pressure on the build. Then we meet Molten Whip as our main spellable. Fossilize is there for the stun when it comes to time for the execute. And my ultimate of choice is Take a Flight. When it comes to our combo, first we use Noxious Breath for dot and Major Breach. Then we use Flames of Oblivion, and after that we use Burning Embers. All of them will put consistent damage on your opponent, and this setup will lead you to the main part, the whipping. All those skills will give you 3 stacks on your Molten Whip for maximum potential. After the enemy falls below about 30 to 40 HP, then you use Fossilize, stunning them, and then use Take a Flight, and this should drop them so low that they would die from the next whip, giving you the final blow. Bringing death and big slashes to the battlefield, Necromancer is the next build. When it comes to basics, my favorite races are Dark Elf, Orc, and High Elf for the most damage. When it comes to Stone, I prefer Atronach. Combined with food, it will cover our sustain. When it comes to foods, I use long thin pasty with melon sauce, or a simple tri-stat crown food will do just fine. When it comes to attributes, put 33 points into health and 32 points into stam. When it comes to Vamp stage, I recommend Vamp stage 3, but it's recommended but not necessary. When it comes to the potions, use tri-stat potions, but they can be expensive, so use simple Alliance War health potions when you want to go cheap. Even though I'll be repeating myself almost every time in every class, it's important to mention it, as each class has its own variation. When it comes to the gear, I once again turn to Bloodspawn as it's one of my favorite base game monster helmets. I like it because it gives us much important ultimate for as many colossal smashes. Then I frontbar Dark Convergence for the amazing pull that stacks your enemies right into the Colossus. I would dual wield 2 hammers, both with sharpened traits. You can get it from Cyrodiil or Guild Trader. As my backbar set, I use Ratchet Vitality. For this is one of the highest stat density sets in the game. The backbar weapon will be Restless Staff with defending trait. This set is craftable with only 3 traits needed. Then I use 2 pieces of trainee and all these builds do not include a mythic, as they are more complex to get for new players. The whole build uses 3 heavy, 2 medium and 2 light setup that you can see, and as you saw before, you can already see all the traits and enchants that I recommend. The skills that are used can be seen on the screen, with Gravelord, Boneyard and Colossus being our main damage skills, with Warring Blades being our execute when enemies get low. Camo Hunter is there for crit chance and minor berserk. The main combo is simple. Use Blast Bones, then pull enemies with Boneyard and Dark Convergence, and then just smash with Colossus. While you spin, they will 100% die. On your backbar, you have 3 main buffs you have to keep up, all covering major buffs that are very necessary to keep you up. Radiating Region is our main hot, and Resilient Flash is our main heal, and Life Giver is our oh shit button here to save the day. When it comes to CP, you can see what CP I would use on the screen. The Nightblade Build uses his range to strike down his foes. When it comes to the basics, the best races I found is Khajiit, Dark Elf, Orc, and High Elf for the most damage. When it comes to the Mundo Stone, Shadow Mundos is the best one as it maximizes your crit damage, which we need the most. When it comes to the food, I love Dubious Comoran Throne. It gives us all the stats we need. When it comes to tributes, put all the points into stamina for maximum damage. Now here, when it comes to Vampire, I highly recommend, or I would say it's necessary, to use Vampire Stage 2. And for Stage 3 is recommended, but not necessary. When it comes to the potions, again, I love Tri-Stat potions, but simple Alliance War Health potions could do the trick. When it comes to the gear, with Nightblade, it's very simple. I would use 1 piece Vulcan Scoria, 1 piece Krath for maximum penetration, and for the main body set, I would use Stygian set, giving us weapon damage when we leave stealth, which is every time we want to strike. This set can be farmed in Cold Harbor or both from Guild Trader. Our front bar set is Venomous Smite for a solid proc and high pressure. The weapon will of course be the bow with sharpened trait. It's another overland set, and this time from Western Skyrim, but it can be bought cheaply from Guild Traders. As for the backbar, I would use Potentes 2H with defending trait for more added protection. Overall, this build uses 1 light, 1 heavy and 5 medium, with full device as our main trait. Jewelry is full infused. When it comes to the skills and basic combos, the skills look like this. Crushing Weapon is for major breach, Race Against Time for minor force, Focused Aim is our main spammable, besides minor breach from Thunder effect. Impale is our ranged execute, and Relentless Focus is mainly there for the stacks, and Incap for the burst if enemy comes too close. The Nightblade's combo is super simple. Every time you gank, you make sure that you're fully buffed up. Then you press Crushing Weapons, then shoot your Focused Aim, and then you light attack to proc Crushing Weapons, and then you keep shooting until enemies falls below 30% HP, and then you use your Execute. This combo does not use ultimate though. However, you can always use either Incap if enemy comes close, or you can use Bow ultimate. The back bar consists of our burst heal in the form of Healthy Offering, a hot with Resolving Vigor, and Invisibility. Siphon attacks are there mainly for passive restoration or active recovery. Rally is perfect as our main way of getting major brutality plus some healing. And Temporal Guard can be used as a protective measure, but you can also use it as a way of getting minor protection. When it comes to CP, This is the CP I would use, and it focuses on your single target damage as much as possible. Next up is a magic-wielding sorcerer. This build stacks the classics of big shields and a lot of burst. When it comes to the basics, my favorite races are Khajiit, Dark Elf, and High Elf for, again, maximum damage. When it comes to Munda Stone, I would use the Mage for more magicka, giving us bigger shields, more mana, and more damage. When it comes to food, I would pick Artaeum Pickled Fishbowl for max health and max magicka. When it comes to attributes, put all the points into max magicka again. When it comes to vampire, stage 3 is recommended but not necessary. When it comes to alliance potions, I would use alliance war mana potions, as usually you run out of mana when you're using sorcerer. When it comes to the gear, we use spinners as our main front bar set. It gives us penetration and many useful stats in form of max magicka. You could use Rallying Cry here, as it would be the most meta set, but it could be very expensive for new players, so I would recommend that you get spinners from Malbal Tor Zone or Guild Trader. Then, on your jewelry, I love using Ancient Grace set, as it gives us so much max magicka. We need it, as it boosts our sustain, damage, as well it makes our shields a lot bigger. You can get this set from Cyrodiil or from Guild Traders again. Our backbar set is once again Wretched Vitality. This set alone covers our sustain and it's considered one of the best sets right now. This set is craftable with only 3 traits needed to know. You can craft it in the Deadland Zone or in any guild house with crafting stations. This setup uses 3 heavy, 2 light and 2 medium, with weapons are Inferno Staff with Sharpened and Backbar with Restless Staff powered trait. With this build, skills are very simple. Let's first check the backbar. Dark Conversion is our main heal and mana recovery. Resolving Vigor is our main hot. Bound Aegis for more 8% max mana, minor resolve, minor protection. An absolute beast of a skill. Then we have Ball of Lightning as our streak. And finally, Boundless Storm for major resolve and our ultimate life giver. The front bar skills are next, and the Hardened Wall is our main shield spell. You have to keep it up 100% of the time. If you don't, look at the timer or your health, you'll die. Inner Light is a simple skill for max mana and more crit. Crushing Shock is our main spammable, and Crystal Fragments are bread and butter with a lot of damage, especially if it crits. This means it turns pink, you shoot. Hunting Curse is our delayed burst skill, and Meteor is our offensive ultimate. You could use the other ultimates as well. The basic combo would look something like this. You always start with Hunting Curse, and then use your ultimate, either Meteor, Atronach, or this Sparking Hands for more overall light attack damage. Then use Crushing Shock, but if Crystal Fragments turn pink, shoot them instead for absolutely more damage. When it comes to the champion points, these I would use, maximizing our single target damage and boosting our shields. Templars are next, bringing jabs and beam to the battlefield. When it comes to the basics, my favorite races I would use are Khajiit, Dark Elf, and High Elf again for the most damage. When it comes to Munda Stone, Atronach combined with food buff will mostly cover our sustain. When it comes to food, I love using Jewels of Mithril. When it comes to attributes, 32 points into health and 32 into max magicka for a nice combination. When it comes to vampire, it's recommended but not necessary. But if you do, use stage 3. When it comes to potions, tri-stat potions are my go-to. But if you find them too expensive, use simple Alliance War health potions. For Templar, gear is simple. Use Bloodspawn, again, as our monster head of choice. I like it because it keeps us tanky and allows us to use our ultimate as frequently as possible. The front bar set is Diamond Victory. This is a craftable set and you can get it very easily. No matter how complicated the tooltip might be, the set works very easily. Essentially, every time you use a ranged ability, like Purifying Light or Toppling Charge, your melee damage skills will do more damage. But when you use your melee skills, like Puncturing Sweep, Your ranged skills will do more damage, for example, your beam. So in your combo you use both ranged or melee, so it's very easy to proc it. When it comes to our back bar, the set is called Gloom Glazed. It's an oh shit set, where you're healed when you get low. Plus, you get major evasion for more protection. This set is overrun from Somerset, so you can farm it there, or you can just buy it very cheaply from guild traders. The rest of 2 spots are filled with 2 pieces of trainee for more health and magicka. Generally, the whole set uses 3 heavy, 3 light and 1 medium. When it comes to the skills, our back bar looks something like this. We use Channel Focus for major resolve. We use Extended Ritual for cleanse and a good AoE heal. We use Race Against Time for minor force and mainly the immobilization immunity. We use Radiating Regeneration for a hot, and as our burst heal, Breath of Life, which has a very high tooltip. Our back bar ultimate is again Life Giver as our oh shit button. When it comes to the front bar, I love using Meteor as my favorite ultimate. I use Toppling Charge, Camel Hunter for major savagery or prophecy for the crit, and minor berserk. I love Puncturing Sweep. We also use Rally and Rally for major brutality and sorcery, plus some mana regeneration, plus Radiant Oppression for the Holy Beam of Executes. So generally, how I would like to start my combo is I would throw down the Meteor, and then a second later I would use Toppling Charge, stunning the opponent by the time the Meteor drops. Then I'll just jab, jab, jab until enemy drops below 30% HP when it comes to beam them down. With this Templar build, I would use this CP, allowing us to have a mix of nice damage and defense. Up next is Warden, by far my favorite class, bringing nature's wrath to the battlefield. When it comes to the basics, for my race, I would love Orc, Dark Elf, High Elf, and Imperial, which gives us the most valuable stats. For Mundus Stone, I would use Lover Mundus for more penetration, but if you don't find yourself tanky enough, I would go for Lord Stone for more HP. When it comes for food, I love Long Fin Pasty with melon sauce, or a simple tri-stat crown food will do just fine. When it comes to tributes, put all the points into health. When it comes to vampire, I would recommend stage 3, but it's not necessary. When it comes to potions, I love tri-stat potions. If they prove too expensive, then use simple Alliance for health potions. When it comes to the gear, this Warden build uses Malabeth as our monster head of choice, or you could use Bloodspawn, could be also a solid alternative. Our front bar set is Spriggans. It gives us penetration and amazing stats for our build. It's an overland set from Bankrai, and you can farm it there or buy it from Guild Trader. Our back bar set is yet again Wretched Vitality. This set is a must-have for Wardens, as they use a lot of hybrid skills. It's also craftable and it's very easy to make. The rest of 2 spots are filled with trainee gear for more HP and mana. Our front bar weapon is a 2H Maul with Sharpen trait for more penetration, which we need. And our back bar set is Restoration Staff. The whole build uses 3 heavy, 1 light and 3 medium setup. When it comes to the skills, they're simple as possible. For the back bar, we use Ice Fortress as our main major resolve, plus minor protection. We use Blue Betty for major brutality and sorcery, and some mana return, plus some purge. I love using Shimmering Shield for that shield, and it gives you major heroism, which I adore. Next, we're using Regeneration for our hot, and Polar Wind. It's a must-have for any Warden, and if you have high HP, tooltips are bonkers. When it comes to the ultimate, I love using Life Giver as our oh shit button. Now, the front bar. Our core skill is Deep Fissure, giving us amazing burst, minor and major breach, and overall it's amazing. Then we use Birds of Prey. I like Birds of Prey because it gives you minor berserk. Plus, then we go to Wrecking Blow. It's similar to D-Swing, but it gives you major berserk, which we need in this build. Then we have Execute and Rally for some additional healing. To be honest, this could be a flag spot, but it's your choice. And our ultimate is Dawnbreaker of Smiting. So in generally, our combo should look something like this. We start with Deep Fissure, expecting it to hit in 3 seconds. In the meantime, we get into position to strike the opponent at the same time as with Dawnbreaker. What we could also do is use Deep Fissure, then we would Wrecking Blow once for Major Berserk, and we still would have like a second left to use Dawnbreaker of Smiting, striking that with Smiting and Deep Fissure at the same time. When it comes to the champion points, this I would use, making use of AoE skills and even more health for even more healing. The final build comes to the Arcanist. To be honest, I'm the least familiar with this class, but recently I had the most time with it, and this build has worked for me. When it comes to the basics, as a race, I recommend Orc, Dark Elf, High Elf, and Imperial for the build. When it comes to the Manda Stone, I would recommend Atronach for more max sustain. When it comes to food, Longfin pasty with lemon sauce or a simple tri-stat crown food will do just fine. When it comes to attributes, I would go 50 into health and 14 into mag. Then when it comes to vampire, I would use stage 3, but it's not necessary. Again, when it comes to potions, use Tri-Stat. If they're too expensive, use Alliance or Health Potions. I could not be more excited about the gear that I would use in this build. The first is simple but a staple. A Bond Spawn, our monster helmet of choice. But we have 2 sets at both bars that I absolutely love. First one is a staple. Pariah. This set is one of the strongest defensive sets that you can get in the game. It's an overland set from Hrothgar, so you can farm it there yourself or you can buy it from Guild Trader. But there's a trick. I have made this setup in such a way that you avoid buying the most expensive pieces from this set. So the next set is one of my favorites and I've always wanted to make the build for it, but I couldn't find it until now. The next set is one of my favorites and I've wanted to make the build from it for so long and finally I can. This set is called Innate Axiom. It gives us weapon damage for our class skills only. If you will pay attention, all of the skills that I use are from our own class, which is amazing. Basically, this set is also craftable, which is very easy to make, and you don't even need to own a DLC or have ESO+. You just join a guild that has this crafting station. Overall, this build uses 3 heavy, 3 light and 1 medium setup with light staff on the front bar with sharpened, and on the back bar it uses ice staff with defending trait. When it comes to our skills, on the back bar I would use Crux Weave Armor, giving us major resolve, plus it applies minor breach onto the opponent when we get hit. Plus, it generates Crux every 5 seconds. We have also Rune Guard of Freedom, giving us minor resolve, minor protection, and it can heal us, plus it gives us crowd control immunity for 7 seconds. Then we also have Race Against Time. This is our minor force, but mainly it's here for the speed and immunity against immobilizations and snares. We also use Elemental Suspectability for our major breach and Evolving Rune Melt for our main heal. It also generates Crux when it heals. Our ultimate on the back bar is Sanctum of Abyssal Sea. Basically, it's a gigantic shield, which I absolutely love. When it comes to the front bar skills, I use Recuperative Treatise, which basically gives us major sorcery or major brutality when it's slotted, and it regenerates a bit of Crux and Magicka and Stamina. Then we use Camo Hunter for minor berserk and crit chance. For our main Crux generation skill, I really like this simple rune blades, which are kind of fun to use. And our main spammable is Fate Cleaver, which basically is a gigantic beam that just deletes people. Then we have a stun and applies minor vulnerability and minor brittle for 20 seconds. The skill is called Rune of Colorless Pool. Our main ultimate is the Tide of King's Gaze, which is an amazing dot over 8 seconds. Basically, our combo is that we use rune blades to generate crux, if you don't have them already from other skills. Then we use Faith Cleaver when you do have full crux. When the opponent drops, let's say at about 50% HP, your main combo begins. First, you make sure you have free crux. Then you use Rune of Colorless Pool to stun the enemy after 1 second. Then you use your ultimate and then you beam. When the ult and the beam hit the target at the same time, your enemy should become stunned for a brief moment before they break free or die trying from your beam. When it comes to the CP for Arcanist, this is our use, making sure that we boost our shields, that we boost damage of the beam and dots. And that wraps up my take on beginner-friendly PvP builds for every class. This one took a lot of time to put together, so if you found it helpful, then drop a like and let me know in the comments what's your favorite class to play in PvP. Mine is Warden. Have a great day and goodbye.